tractors are parked outside a meeting of European Union agriculture ministers during a protest by Belgian farmers in Brussels. Reuters Bruno Mars accepts record of the year for 24K Magic, with his production team on stage during the 60th annual Grammy Awards at Madison Square Garden in New York. Getty Images. 4 NARAS students with torches gather prior to a march in celebration of the 165th birth anniversary of Cuba's independence hero José Martí, in Havana. Reuters. A firefighter inspects a burnt hospital after a fire in Muryang, South Korea. 37 people were killed in the fire, with the number of casualties likely to rise further. Gyeongnam Shinmun. Via Getty, rescue workers and police officers stand near derailed trains in Pialtello, on the outskirts of Milan. Reuters. Afghan police officers take position during a blast and gunfire in Jalalabad, Afghanistan. Reuters. Workers clean the beach of the coastal town of Zouk Mosba, north of Beirut, as garbage washed up and piled along the shore after stormy weather. AFP. Getty. A Free Syrian Army soldier takes a selfie as fighters join up with Turkish troops near the Syrian border at Hassa, Hatay province. Turkey shelled Kurdish militia targets in Syria and claimed progress in a cross-border offensive that has stoked concern among its allies and neighbors. Palestinians take part in a protest against aid cut outside the United Nations Relief and Works Agency (UNRWA) office in Rafah in the southern Gaza Strip. Reuters. Oscar Janicki, 6, participates in the second annual Women's March in Philadelphia. Reuters. Russian President Vladimir Putin bathes in an ice-cold water on Epiphany near St. Nilis Stolobinsky Monastery on Lake Seliga in Svetlitsa village, Russia. Thousands of Russian Orthodox Church followers will plunge into icy rivers and ponds across the country to mark Epiphany, cleansing themselves with water deemed holy for the day. Sputnik. Kremlin pool photo via app. People protest to call for a new DREAM Act to replace DACA in Los Angeles, California. Reuters. Pro-democracy activists Raphael Wong and Joshua Wong arrive at Lai Chi Kok Reception Center after they were jailed on protest-related charges following their sentencing at the High Court in Hong Kong. AFP. Getty. Skyscrapers Oriental Pearl Tower and Jin Mao Tower, L, are seen from the Shanghai World Financial Center on a hazy day in the financial district of Pudong in Shanghai, China. Reuters. Martin Luther King III, U.S. Secretary of the Interior and others wait to place a wreath during an event at the Martin Luther King Memorial on the National Mall. AFP. Getty. A boy stands with women loyal to the Houthi movement during a gathering held to show their support to the movement in Sana'a, Yemen. Reuters. Diego Martin Duplessis of Argentina drives his Honda during the 2018 Peru-Bolivia-Argentina Dakar Rally, 40th edition Stage 7, La Paz to Uyuni. Reuters. Angela Merkel speaks during a joint press conference after exploratory talks in Berlin. According to reports, the leaders of CDU, CSU and SPD parties after night-long talks agreed on a plan for formal coalition negotiations. EPA. A Pakistani girl holds a picture of Zainab Ansari, an 8-year-old girl who was raped and kidnapped in Kasua during a protest in Karachi, Pakistan. Anees Ansari, Zainab's father, accused the police of being slow to respond when his daughter went missing in the eastern Punjab province. 2 people were killed and 3 others were wounded in clashes between angry Kasua residents and police after protesters enraged over her death attacked a police station in the city. App. India's Border Security Force BSF, Daredevils, women motorcycle riders performed during a rehearsal for the Republic Day parade on a cold winter morning in New Delhi. Reuters. Members of the South Korea delegation, R, shake hands with members of the North Korean delegation, L, during their meeting at the border truce village of Panmunjom in the demilitarized zone dividing the 2 Koreas. North and South Korea began their first official talks in more than 2 years, focusing on the forthcoming Winter Olympics after months of tensions over Pyongyang's nuclear weapons program. AFP. Getty. Migrants in a dinghy are rescued by Libyan coast guards off the coast of Garibaldi, east of Tripoli. Reuters. French President Emmanuel Macron observes a minute of silence in front of the plaque commemorating late police officer Ahmed Merabet to mark the 3rd anniversary of the Charlie Hebdo terrorist attack, in Paris. Rex Nicolaou Solis from Greece kisses the wooden cross which was thrown into the waters by Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew I, during the Epiphany ceremony to bless the waters at the Golden Horn in Istanbul. App. Women mourn the death of a family member following a landslide in Kinshasa. 37 people died overnight when torrential rain and mudslides swept those shanty homes. AFP, Getty mourners carry the body of Palestinian Mossab al-Tamimi, 17, who was shot and killed by Israeli troops during his funeral near the West Bank city of Ramallah. Reuters people take part in pro-government rallies, Iran. Tasnim news agency via Reuters Indonesian bus passengers watch as Mount Sinabung spews thick smoke in Karo, North Sumatra. AFP, Getty people take part in the traditional New Year's Day swim in Scheveningen, Netherlands. Rex fireworks explode over Sydney Harbour during New Year's Eve celebrations. EPA, an Indian Muslim lifts a stool with a metal rod pierced through his cheeks to commemorate the anniversary of the death of Rafi Papami and Sai at the Shari Alam Dargah shrine in Ahmedabad. AFP, Getty, a New York apartment fire killed at least 12 people, including a baby, with 4 more critically injured. Mayor Bill de Blasio said at a press conference from the scene that, "It is the worst fire tragedy we have seen in this city in at least a quarter century." Reuters Afghan women mourn inside a hospital compound after a suicide attack in Kabul, Afghanistan. Reuters Pope Francis greets newlyweds during his weekly general audience at Orla Paolo VI in the Vatican. AFP, Getty Rohingya refugees walk next to a pond in the early morning at the Balakali refugee camp near Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. Reuters members of Ice Swimming Club Berliner Seehund, Berlin Seals, take a dip in the Orangsee Lake in Berlin as part of their traditional Christmas ice swimming session, in Berlin, Germany. Reuters mourners carry the body of 19-year-old Mohammed Sami al-Dardou, a Palestinian youth from Jabalia who was killed in clashes with Israeli forces east of Gaza City. AFP, Getty policemen evacuate a baby after the Cagayan River swelled caused by heavy rains brought by Tropical Storm Tembin. People have died and others are missing as the storm struck the southern Philippines, unleashing floods and landslides across a region of 20 million people. AFP, Getty Carles Puigdemont gives a thumbs up after the Catalonia regional election results. Rex a white SUV sits in the middle of the road as police and emergency personnel work at the scene of where it ran over pedestrians in Flinders Street in Melbourne. AFP, Getty this combination of pictures shows Syrians covering one eye with their hands, in the rebel-held town of Douma, as part of a campaign in solidarity with a baby boy, Kareem Abdullah, who lost an eye, as well as his mother, in government shelling on the nearby town of Hermoria. AFP, Getty images South Korean and U.S. Marines take part in a winter military drill in Pyeongchang, South Korea. Reuters Belgian police officers stand guard outside the trial of Salah Abdeslam, one of the suspects in the 2015 Islamic State attacks in Paris, at a courthouse in Brussels, Belgium. Reuters members of the International Space Station Expedition 54/55, Roscosmos cosmonaut Anton Shkaplerov C., NASA astronaut Scott Tingle R., and Nora Shige L., of the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency JAXA, during the send-off ceremony after checking their spacesuits before the launch of the Soyuz MS-07 spacecraft at the Baikonur Cosmodrome, in Kazakhstan. Reuters the former wife of the late South African President Nelson Mandela, Winnie Mandela, R., and the candidate for the African National Congress presidency and ex-wife of the incumbent South African President, Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma greet each other as they attend the 54th ANC National Conference at the NASREC Expo Centre in Johannesburg on December 16, 2017. Thousands of delegates from South Africa's ANC party gathered on December 16, 2017 for a 5-day meeting to elect their new leader in a divisive race seen as a pivotal moment in the country's post-apartheid history. The winner will be well placed to be the next president, but the ANC has lost much popularity since Nelson Mandela led it to power in the euphoric 1994 election that marked the end of white minority rule. AFP, Getty images Palestinian protesters wave the national flag during clashes with Israeli security forces near the border fence with Israel, east of Gaza City as demonstrations continue over U.S. President Donald Trump's declaration of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. AFP, Getty